Both A and C are correct. Option D is the right option here.
Uh, Here the question is, calculate the maximum file size supported by the Unix inode structure if it contains 12 direct block pointers and block pointer of single indirect, double indirect and triple indirect each. The sizes of disk block and disk block address are 1024 bytes and 8 bytes respectively. Here we have to find the maximum file size supported by the Unix inode structure. It is given that it contains 12 direct block pointers, direct block pointers. That means 12 pointers which are pointing directly to the data blocks, and block one block will be there, one indirect, single indirect, one double indirect, and one triple indirect blocks will be there. That means single indirect means this pointer points to block which in turn contains pointer to the data blocks. Double indirect means it will contain pointers which points to the blocks, and those blocks will contain the pointers which are pointing to the data blocks. The same way triple indirect. So let us find the number of block addresses which can be stored in a block. Here block size is 1024 bytes. That means 2 power 10 bytes, and disk block address is of size 8 bytes. That means 2 power 8 bytes. So we can store 2 power 7 block addresses in one disk block. So here, because of the file size, because of 12 direct pointers, the size would be 12 into each pointer will be pointing to one data block, and data size of data block is 1024 byte. That means 1 KB, 12 into 1 KB. And because of one single indirect, uh, this would this size would be 2 power 7 into 1 KB. Why? Because 2 power in one disk block we can store 2 power 7 disk block addresses, and those in turn will be pointing to disk 2 power 7 disk blocks. So size would be 2 power 7 into 1 KB. And because of this double indirect, we can store 2 power 14 KB, and because of this triple indirect, 2 power 21 KB. So the maximum file size would be 12 KB because of single 12 direct to block pointers, and 2 power 7 KB plus 2 power 14 KB plus 2 power 21 KB. So if we simplify this, you will be getting approximately 2.016 GB. So here correct option is option B. Decompose the following table into BCNF. Here given FDs are A derives C, C derives A, and AB derives D. In order to solve this type of problems, first of all we have to find the keys for the given table. Here if you find the keys, you would be getting keys as AB, one of the keys as AB. If AB is a key, as A is derived from C, CB will also become key. So here keys are AB and CB. Here we have to decompose this table into BCNF. In BCNF, in order to satisfy BCNF, all the FDs in all the functional dependencies, the left hand side part should be super key, either candidate key or a super key. So here if AB and CB are keys, we can see these two are violating BCNF conditions. The FDs which are violating BCNF condition should be kept in separate table. Here the attributes are AC. So we can say we have to keep A and attributes A and C in separate table. The remaining attribute is BD. So remaining attributes are BD. In order to maintain the referential integrity, we have to keep primary key of the table in this one. So if we keep primary key here, primary key is here key is AB. So if we keep AB here, B is already there. So we have to join AB. So this is one possibility. This decomposition will be in BCNF. If AB is key, CB is also key. So other possibility is here, as A and C, these two FDs are violating BCNF, the attributes in this dependency, functional dependency, are kept in separate table. Those are AC. So we keep AC in separate table, and the remaining attributes are BD. And in order to maintain differential integrity, we have to keep the key in this table. So here key is we already kept AB. Now other possibility is CB. If we keep CB, this table would be CBD. So this decomposition will also be in BCNF. Here the possibilities are options A and B. So here correct option is option